Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Average Joe Hockey Report. In this video, we're going to go over 1 year ago, 1 year and a day ago, because yesterday I posted a video saying this is what I want every Canadian team to do. And since then, here's what happened a year later. So I said that the Vancouver Canucks needed to do something with their defense. And I'd like to think it's gotten a bit better. I mean, I do like the addition of Filip Hronek. And, buying out Oliver Ekman-Larsson, while it's got its pros and cons, but at least, he's not there. His poor on-ice performance is not going to be there anymore. Don't necessarily care for the Carson Soucy addition, though. Especially since Soucy, has, 3 years left on his contract at $3.25 million. But, Tyler Myers' $6 million contract is up next year, so I'd say the situation's improved a bit there. The next Canadian team we're going to talk about is the Edmonton Oilers. Let me just bring it up. Okay, here we go. And I said the same thing. Do something with your defense. They did bring in Mattias Ekholm, so there's that. I did like that addition. I think a bit more could be done regarding Edmonton. Even if it's, adding Jeff Petrie, who's a trade rumor. Even though he's kind of on the way downwards, I think he's still better than some of the other defensemen on Edmonton. But yeah, I'd say it's improved a bit with the Ekholm addition, but I feel like there still could be more done there. The next team we're going to talk about is the Calgary Flames. And regarding the Calgary Flames, I told them to stop underachieving, but now unfortunately things are worse. It's like I said, they're one of the biggest messes in the NHL right now. Just because between Elias Lindholm and Noah Hanifin, not necessarily looking like they want to contract extensions. They're being offered contract extensions, but it's like, well, what? But they're kind of at a stalemate. Not necessarily. They look very uncertain. And then I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of the Tyler Toffoli trade. I didn't think Sharangovich was a good enough haul. I thought they could have got more for him or whatever. And as it is too, Nikita Zadorov's gonna be a UFA, and same with Chris Tanev. So yeah, not necessarily looking the greatest regarding the Flames. And with Jakob Markstrom, constantly not necessarily putting up the greatest stats too. It's just not necessarily looking good. Next team we're going to talk about is the Winnipeg Jets. And what I wanted from the Jets was to play Delaney Heinola more. And yeah, that's a pipe dream. Heinola's, I don't have much faith in him anymore. They're choosing Dylan Sandberg over him, which isn't necessarily too far-fetched. And Sandberg's more of a two-way player or whatever. I just would like to see, more offensive production from the defense, just because while Morrissey's production is going up, and he had another solid season, Pionk's production is still about the same or whatever, and it's not. And Pionk looked pretty bad at times in the defensive zone and other situations or whatever. So, but yeah, I'm glad they let go of Logan Stanley as well. But yeah, Heinola, I just don't really have too much faith in him all that much anymore. And although we could see a scenario where maybe if Heinola's around for one more season, because Brendan Dillon's contract is up at the end of next season. But we'll see. I don't know. My faith in Heinola is kind of running a bit low right now. The next team I wanted to look at was the Toronto Maple Leafs. And with the Leafs, a year ago I said, play Timothy Liljegren and Rasmus Sandin. Well, Sandin got traded away to Washington for Eric Gustafson, who's now a member of the New York Rangers, and a draft pick in the first round. Sorry, I forgot the name of that pick, but everyone was like, "Huh?" about the pick because he wasn't necessarily supposed to go all that high and whatnot. So where is it? Where is it? Yeah, his name's Easton Cowan. Okay, and I don't know, people didn't think too high that he was gonna be drafted too high. They thought it was a miss or whatever. So yeah. And as for Liljegren, it's projected that he's going to be playing on the third D pairing, and that John Klingberg would be on the second D pairing. Which, while Liljegren's production dropped a bit, don't get me wrong, and they don't feel like he's ready to take on a lot of ice time. Klingberg, though, the addition to Klingberg, I don't know. He does put up the offensive numbers, but his defensive game is very suspect and whatnot. Yep. So the next team we're going to talk about is the Ottawa Senators, and I said that the Ottawa Senators should get a up-and-coming goalie, but I think they did better, even for that matter, because they added Joonas Korpisalo, who's 29 years old, so you should get at least 6 good years out of Korpisalo. So yeah. They should, if not 6, at least 3 or whatever. So yeah, I like the Korpisalo addition, and Ottawa did something about their goaltending and whatnot. So yeah, I definitely like what they did there. And last but not least, Montreal Canadiens. What I wanted from the Montreal Canadiens was to move some contracts, and yeah, they actually did just that. I mean, they traded Joel Edmondson to the Washington Capitals. They were in on the Erik Karlsson trade, trading Mike Hoffman away to the San Jose Sharks. They ended up taking on Jeff Petry's contract, but it's at least they've moved some contracts. They've got some cap space once Carey Price is back on a long-term injury reserve. So yeah, I have to say that they did move some contracts and whatnot. There's still some work to do in Montreal, but it's a good start. Letting guys like Drouin, Byron walk, whatever, and then trading away Edmondson, trading away Hoffman. There's rumors of Jeff Petry now being traded away, which would, if it's another salary dump, but that's okay though. But we'll see. But they're at least moving. They're at least trying to get out of there. They're at least trying to turn the ship around, get rid of some big contracts and whatnot. So yeah, happy there. This video is mostly based on opinion and may not have any other implications how some of these players or some of these teams do and whatnot in the future. So remember, if I'm wrong, don't belittle me, educate me. Take care, everyone, and follow my Instagram account, The Average Joe Hockey Report, and my YouTube channel, Marty Tommy, in parentheses, Average Joe Hockey Report.